Okay, so audit committee
47,
coming to order at
647.
6:48. We'll just identify ourselves for the record. Dick Vandenberg, Finance Committee.
Howard D'Amico, now Finance Committee Audit Committee.
Okay, but we're from the Finance Committee, right?
Not today.
No, you're in the audit committee today.
Okay.
We're just audit.
Mike, Patrick.
My point is that the audit committee has 3 from FinCom and 2 from the selectmen, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, okay. So before us, we have a request for proposals to get an auditing firm effective July the 1st. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? We've had an original one, and then we've had a revision that basically updated some stuff.
That depends, Dick.
Okay, Howard,
That depends on what you mean, had a chance to look at it.
have you had a chance to read every page?
Every word of every page? With what kind of an analysis?
Did it make sense? Did you have any questions?
That's-
Was the wording okay, that kind of thing?
I will absolutely not pass on the question of whether the wording is okay.
How about you, Mike?
If the wording's okay, I have nothing to compare it to. One particular thing that I was interested in is to make sure that we had the option to, at any point, if we needed to audit a particular department, say there was an issue, somebody came to the audit committee and said, I have a concern or a question about this, we're in a position where we could say, we would like the audit firm, because that would be under our charge, the audit firm to audit a particular department. And most of the time it's when they're dealing with monies and things like that, that you would be concerned about that. And that was in there. So I seen that in there for one department per year in the description. That's something that I was interested in. As far as reading all this stuff, I have nothing to compare it to, so I don't know if it's right or not right. If there's an existing agreement or something with the current audit company, it may help us to compare it and see what's that consist of. This is a whole bunch of pages. Is this what we need, or do we need one page? I don't know what it is. There's nothing to compare to, and being new to it, it's a challenge to try to say yay or nay to this document.
I have some of the same concerns. I can read every word. I've got a lawyer's background. I wouldn't pass on behalf of the town, on behalf of, as a member of the audit committee, when you say is the language okay, it's a significant binding proposal, or at least a request for proposals. I don't know where we stand. I don't know if it's got to be vetted by town council. It makes me nervous.
I don't even know if town council looked at it, because we just received it.
I think
Last
they
week,
have. Right, so when you ask me if the language is okay, all the words, there were no missing words, but I don't know. It looks like a request for proposal. There was some discussion, and to Mike's point, it sounds like, for me at least initially, there's this kind of conundrum that the people I'd look for input from appear to be several of the people that would be audited, right? Whether that's Matt or Gene. I'd look for a little input tonight from Matt, but I have a perception he doesn't want to come for fear of having it appear to be a conflict. But I don't know on this committee what our charge is. I can be given a document that was cut and pasted from a document the town of Topsfield used. And I can say, yeah, probably matches pretty closely what the town of Topsfield used. But I don't know if it fit their needs. I don't know if it had gaps in it that Topsfield didn't recognize. I just don't know.
This document, I was thinking about it as you were talking, this is a request for proposal, so we're not obligated by contract with anything like this until you get to the point where you choose an actual auditor. It's just that we need to make sure that this thing captures everything that we would want in the proposal. again, the only thing that I personally was concerned about is that we have the opportunity to audit a particular department if it became a question, whether it was for this committee, whether it was for another committee or a board or some entity within the town that thought that there was a need to do an investigation into a particular thing. So I don't know what I'm looking at here as far as if it captures everything that we would want, but this is just a request for proposals from audit companies. So it doesn't bind the town in any way. This is just a request for proposals. When we get to the proposals, will be a more in-depth question.
And that's a fair comment, I appreciate that. I guess my concern is it nonetheless has specific language that it says it's looking for.
Yeah.
And once the proposals come in,
Right.
if we find out then that our request for proposal didn't have things we needed,
Yeah.
and the proposals come in and match the request for proposals,
Correct.
then we got to go backwards.
Yep.
And we've run out of time.
No, and I agree with you. I just don't have anything to compare it to.
Me too.
So I didn't do any research online, which is unusual. Normally I'm digging in everything.
Yeah.
But I haven't had the time to research it and to see if this is accurate, and I don't have any reason to believe it's not, but
Right. Me too.
I don't have anything to compare it to. So I think in all fairness, if you guys are open to it, we should schedule something within the next week, maybe next Tuesday at this time or something, and have the other two members join us. Gives us a week to dig into it. We all know each other's concerns at this point. The other two can watch the meeting and find out, and maybe we can, at the end of the day, we might say, yeah, it's fine the way it is, but we haven't been afforded any comparison information to make a proper judgment.
Let's talk about our timeline, just what you alluded to.
Right.
And back our way out.
Yep.
If the company should be in place by July 1, right?
Yep.
Meaning, does anybody know what the timeline is for when an RFP goes out? When we recommend the final language, from when we approve it to when it would go out?
Can you guys excuse me for a minute, and I'll go ask that question?
If that's appropriate?
Well, before you do, Mike, I wondered if we do try to have another audit committee meeting in a week, would it be helpful to get RFPs from other towns to compare with?
Yeah, we just have to be very
And ask our
diligent
town
about it to
council.
we got to try to get this wrapped up pretty quick.
And do we want to ask our town council to comment on what we should look for or not?
I don't know that.
It may be, well, I don't know if town council, well, they must know something about this. We could always have this particular document just forwarded to them. Because town council does know previous concerns that we had as far as audits and stuff goes, so maybe he could shed some light on it.
So I'm just thinking out loud here, because we have nothing to compare this to, do we want to compare it to something?
Well, I assume we're comparing it to the one from the town of Topsfield.
Right. But let's say Northbridge's is 2 pages long, and this one's 24 pages long. We want to look at Northbridge's. So,
How would we know within either one was more useful?
yeah.
You get a gauge.
So you want this to be the working one?
I kind of think I do.
Okay.
I mean, I'll defer to the fact that it's the one that the town administrator provided to us is what he perceived to be the best parallel raw example of one for use.
Okay. Well, why don't we, let's try to meet a week from tonight,
Yeah.
or not, Howard? You're
Well,
thinking-
I'm still concerned about the timeline
So,
and whether we need to wait a
Would
week
it-
and whether we'll have dramatically different information in a week.
would it be appropriate that I ask the town administrator What's the timeline?
What's the
would be?
timeline, Matt,
If you
that we
feel
need to get the
comfortable enough.
RFP out in order to get an audit firm here on July 1?
It's April 4th, so soon.
But
Yeah.
what's the drop dead date that we need to have?
Would it hurt us to wait 1 week? We're missing 2 members, so why don't we do that and just continue it for a week? And then you can send an email out to the other members and tell them what the conversation was.
Okay, is that okay with you?
Try to wrap this
It
up.
is. Matt, do you think you're in conflict to appear before this committee next Tuesday?
Not if it's about an RFQ, because it's not mine. You voted, so.
Okay. Have you got
Yeah,
a few
just
minutes
some
to meet
questions
with
to help
us?
us through that.
That would be very useful and make the process move along quicker. Thank you.
All right,
Let's meet at 6:30 next Tuesday.
and we'll
night.
ask Matt to be there too.
Does that work with your schedule?
I'm going to be here anyway, because it's your meeting,
Okay,
finance.
right.
Okay.
right.
What time's their meeting?
We start at 7.
7? Should we meet at 6?
6:30.
Let's do 6, let's try 6:30.
6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we need a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Mike makes the motion to adjourn.
Do we need a motion to schedule a meeting for next week?
I don't think so.
Does that have, this isn't public, correct? Okay, motion to adjourn, seconded.
Okay, Howard seconds, all in favor, say aye.
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 Great.
Motion